Brodie, and this is my shop. Welcome. Oh, I have a new sign. I am a fussy frame builder. I've built bicycle frames, I've built motorcycle frames, and what I have behind me is an Aermacchi motorcycle frame. I really like these frames. I used to race one back some years ago, and I had some success. In 2001, I built a couple frames, and for some reason I built the second one. I don't really know why, I can't explain that. But this is the spare frame, because the bike, it got stolen in 2005, and lots of people have emailed me and say, I think I found your bike. And there was this hope and expectation, but it's never turned up. So I decided that I'm gonna recreate the Aermacchi racer that I used to have back then, and this is the bike. You can see that it's a spine frame. That means there's one tube which connects the head tube with everything else, big spine, a chromoly tube, and it's not finished yet. It's very close, but you can see here it's not welded. I have to put the shock mounts on. And our project today is to build some foot pegs, or a foot peg. I have a foot peg, and I have one, but I need two, so this is a good little job for today. We're gonna make the foot peg out of a piece of 1 1/8" 6061 aluminum. Time to go to the lathe. In this foot peg project, we have several stages. The first step is to drill the holes. The second step is to turn down the OD, and you can see how there's a little step here, so we leave the step, and then after the OD is turned down, this gets knurled. There's a special tool, I'll show you. First job is to face the end, make that flat. I use a center drill first. I know it has a hole in there, but I don't know if the hole is centered. It might be wandering a little bit, so. So I need to drill a hole, and I want to know how far to drill the hole. So I extend the drill past the end of the piece, and I make a mark there. So when this mark goes up to the end there, I'm far enough. On the foot peg, you can see how there's a radius at the end of the hole. So I'm going to try and make that radius using a scraper or a deburring tool. Looks okay. I'm just eyeballing that size there, and that looks pretty good. And then I need to make a mark down here. So the metal here is 1 1/8", and the final OD is 7/8 of an inch. So I have to take off 1/8 of an inch, which is 125 thou. $9.50, so it's got to go down to $8.75. Got a little bit more to take off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the tool, and I'm going to make a little bit of a radius here on the inside and on the outside. You see how this is sharp? I'm going to use the tool and make it a little bit rounded. Then I'll use a file. So that's a knurling tool. I'm going to use the coarse wheels, those two, and there's a fine one, and there's medium. I want coarse. So I'm going to start knurling right about there. I'll put a little bit of oil on the rollers. That looks okay. And does it match? I think it's pretty close. Okay, what I'm doing now is I have to take off all of this, and I can do the whole thing in the mill, but it's going to be a lot faster if I take a hacksaw and I make a cut, leave enough on for the mill, and then finish up in the mill. So I'm using this little drill press vise here, and it's going to hold it, because if I start just holding it by hand, it can twist. If I hold it in the vise, it's not going to twist. And then I want to just kind of make a mark where I want to cut it but leave extra. Can you see how I've left some extra? And I'll probably cut on this side of the felt pen mark, just to give me a little bit of extra insurance there. Gonna bolt that onto there. I'll put a dial indicator on this face, and I'm gonna move the vise until it's 0 all along. We're being way too fussy. It's just a foot peg, but it's to show you how the process works. If a customer came in and said, I want a foot peg exactly like this, that's the process. What the straight edge is telling me is that these two faces are vertical, which is good. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of pressure on there. I'll zero this. So what I'll do now is I'm going to move. Oh, okay, see it moving? So when it goes clockwise, it means that it's coming towards the dial. I have to move the vise this way. So I'll move it a little bit. So now it's only out 5 thou. Let's just see how close we can make it. How's that? Nice! Okay, so now if you want to be really fussy, you lock it down and then you test it once more, because sometimes when you clamp things down, things move. One thou. That's okay for a foot peg. Okay, this is the end mill I'm going to use. It's a 5/8 end mill. It's 4 flute. It's carbide. It's got some weight to it. So what I've got here is a 5/8 rod, basically the same size, and I'm going to nestle this right into that radius there. This into the collet. So I can move it in. There we go. I can feel that that's basically in the radius of the foot peg. So up here now, I'm going to zero the X and I'm going to zero the Y. So when I change the tool, I put in the end mill, I know where to head for. Yeah, looks okay. It just needs a little bit of a cleanup. Take off the burrs around the corners. Let's go to the vise. so what I need to do, see here, I got to put a radius on here, and then you see how it sticks out on the sides and it doesn't stick out here. I also have to file off those lumps on either side, so a little bit of hand filing. Still a little high. So I think we're looking pretty good. They look like the same length. So what we have to do now is to cut this off and then to face the end, and then we're done. I've had this bandsaw since 1988. It just keeps on working. So I'm holding on the knurl now, so I don't want to hold it too tight. And that's it. I now have one pair of Aermacchi foot pegs. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye.